Okay, so we are live. This is the live stream with none other than Dr. Goo at Locked Scents. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How about
Uh,
yourself?
I'm doing well. It is good to see you. It was, in fact, it's been not to the day, but it's been just over a month, right, since our last one. It was the end of June,
Yeah.
the first one we did, and so that was a lot of fun indeed. And so we talked in the last one about doing another one, and here we are. And just like the last one, we're really not going to have too much of a format. We kind of like that actually, not having too much structure, and we'll just kind of see where the ebb and flow take us in our second live stream, and then we'll take a few questions, of course, people who chime in, and if not, I have a few questions from people who have left questions for us in previous episodes. Real quick, I'll just say my name is Ben. I'm at That Cologne Guy, and I have new content every Friday. I put out a little bit of a teaser for this week, 2 days ago, of course, for today. But generally, I put out one episode every Friday. And in my eternal quest, of course, is to keep it in the sweet spot of, what is it, like 7.5 to 15 minutes per episode. And of course, I fail miserably in every episode and go about a half hour. But that's okay. I have a lot of fun reviewing. A lot of reviewers have kind of moved past the notion of having a one fragrance review episode, right? It's kind of in some ways maybe 2000s, and a lot of them have abandoned that notion instead of having a theme or a topic. And I actually do enjoy having the one fragrance review episodes. They're a lot of fun for me, and then I take the whole week and enjoy it if I'm not already familiar with it. So why don't you, Dr. Goo, why don't you introduce your channel to us real quick, and then we'll start.
All right. What's up, guys? So my channel name is Loc'd Scents. I go by the name of Dr. Goo, and I do fragrance reviews and first impressions. And just like Ben, I try to get my at least do one video a week or two videos a week. One on Saturday, one on Sunday for the most part, if I can. And I mainly do the fragrance reviews, focus on like one fragrance. Sometimes I'll do the list videos, but those kind of get played out. And yeah, so.
And I just noticed Julio has stopped in, and I was going to see if I can get for the comments, if we can get them to come over as banners. So give me a second. Julio, how are you? Leave a comment in the on the side and let us know how you're doing.
See here, comments.
Okay. Now, can you see that on your screen, Dr. Goo, where it says use banners to summarize?
Yes.
We'll see if that works, but either way.
Yes, he said he's got the little magnifying glass with the eyes, Julio.
Yeah. And then I'm okay. So I'm doing fine, he says. All right. So let me take a look at. Okay. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Thanks for your patience on that. And welcome aboard, Julio. And let us know if you have any other questions. So thanks for introducing us to your channel. And you also put it up just kind of whenever the mood strikes, right?
Yeah, whenever I can. Yeah, exactly. Whenever I can do a review and then also edit it up and processing and stuff like that. Whenever it finishes
Sure.
that, then I just put it up. Really no time.
No time frame. I was thinking of you too. On a couple hours ago, I went to Starbucks to fuel up, and I was wearing my Halloween the movie, the original shirt, and the guy at Starbucks said that he liked the shirt, and we ended up having quite the chat about Halloween. So. I have to say, in fact, almost every time I wear that shirt, someone will say anything. And then, of course, this one, which is for the beer drinkers out there, this is Spotted Cow. If you don't know, Spotted Cow is only sold in Wisconsin. And so it is whenever someone goes up to Wisconsin, they usually bring a whole bunch of it back. You cannot get it anywhere else. So it's exclusive. So, so like I said, I have a couple of questions, and I'll figure out how we're going to do about that first. But let me just ask. I know we talked a little bit earlier. Let us know what your scent of the day is.
Got Paco Rabanne 1 million parfum. Great, works fantastic in the summer. Just sunscreen vibe, a little bit of florals, just a tiny bit. But you get that Manoia oil in there. That's what That's what makes it like that coconut kind of suntan vibe.
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that the parfum has a little bit more of like a suntan lotion vibe to it.
It's got the most in it because if you try to, I forget if it was the EDT or the
heavy drinking over here.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Like juice. But yeah, I think I'm not too sure if like the EDT or the EDP. Yeah, it's like a lighter smell but the parfum is like the best version, in my opinion.
Because the original one has like a strong kind of a strawberry note, right?
Which one?
Of the 1 million, the original.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and we were talking right before was the one that I really want. In fact, here we can just make this a question. If you can think of any discontinued fragrances that you would want or are looking for, in case we didn't address that in the last one, because that the 1 million Privé is one that I'm always looking for.
I would say 1 million Privé too, because I at least want to smell it. I want to get my nose on it at least. I haven't smelled it before.
It is fantastic. And then the other one that I really want is Ralph Lauren's what is it? Supreme Oud.
Supreme Oud?
Yes, that one is just another one that is gorgeous. I really like that one, and I cannot find it anywhere. I mean, within the price range that I'm willing to pay for. Yeah. Now, do you say, or do you guys out there, do you say Ralph Lauren, or Ralph Lauren?
It depends. It depends on who was ever saying the name. It could be Lauren or it can be Lauren. I think it's Lauren though.
Because I mean, he's Ralph Lauren is an American who's within a French company. I don't know that I don't know that. Yeah. Because maybe it's like a situation where there's another one I mentioned called Costume National, right? And it's an Italian company. And for some reason, we all used to say, and I mean, I don't anymore, but we used to say Costume National. So there must be something there when it's like, we tend to use invented pronunciations to give it like a foreign flair or something. I don't know how it's going.
Well, there's a transmission shop here in Vegas. It's called Baca National.
So
it's like, the same way you could say National or National. It just depends,
So people, exactly. So it's like, I don't know why I used to say Costume National, but that wouldn't be, because if it were Italian, it'd be Nazionale. So it wouldn't even be Italian. So I don't know what's going on there. So we'll have to figure out the mystery behind Ralph Lauren or Ralph Lauren.
I think it's Lauren, man.
Let's go with Lauren. Okay. All right. So Julio says his scent of the day is Young Hearts by Bruno Acampora. And I have not tried that one. Have you heard of that house?
No.
I have not either.
So coming with those super niche stuff.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. I have not even heard of the house, let alone of the actual fragrance itself. And as I mentioned, today is my last day with the youthful Guess Seductive Blue. Definitely perfect for the summer. And how many? I was thinking about this. How many bottles have you actually
gone through?
Yeah, nice. I traded for this one, so I actually had about a half when I got it. So
you know what? I just ran out of Aqua Velva.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been through that like twice. So that's 2, and then mostly the cheaper ones like Gray Flannel. It's the EU Gray Flannel by Jeffrey Bean. I've been through that one once.
Yeah.
About to go through my first Versace Arrows Edt bottle.
Okay.
I mean, I have like this much left. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And then I went through one. Oh, Dracar Noir.
Ooh, boy, there's some good ones there. I actually like gray flannel a lot.
Do you like the original one?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's one of those cheapies that certainly garners a lot of compliments. It's actually quite nice. Okay, so Julio says, here we go. There we go. It's like polo green, but 1,000 times greener. Whoa! So it must be
Good.
yeah, ultra green and ultra good. Because you like polo green, right?
Yeah, I love it.
And I think we mentioned this last time, so I don't want to belabor the point. But you said you have not smelled Modern Reserve, right? The newer version of it.
No, and that one's discontinued too.
Yeah, it's like a limit exactly, and that's unfortunate because I really enjoyed that one. So welcome aboard, Anthony. Anthony Concepcion is here, and Anthony has said, my scent of the day is Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne. With 9 look at that, with a diamond and 9 backup bottles.
That was
Damn.
me too. So dang, Anthony, you trying to grow me one, Mo?
Anthony, remember who your friends are, okay? So no, so that, how about that? How many what's the most backup bottles you have or have ever had?
You know what? Really, I don't really buy the backup bottles like
Sure.
that, because unless it's like Gucci Noble or something like that, where that goes for so much money. I mean, a vintage bottle of that could go for like $600. I'll never use the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't use it on special occasions, and I mean, if it's something I really, really like I was thinking about getting another backup bottle of Amouage Beach Hut Man, because I really like that one.
Yeah, I remember.
But I don't really find the point to do it, because by that time you get to that 9th backup bottle or 3rd backup bottle, it might have gone bad already. You know what I mean? Because collection, unless you wear it like back to back to back, unless that's I don't know. I don't find the point of getting backup bottles.
I've got the 400, the mammoth bottle. I've got the 400 ounce
Aqua Amara.
Or milliliter. Sorry. Well, I wish I had a fluid ounce of 400, but yeah, the Aqua di Gio. So that's like 4 backup bottles. I guess you could make an argument, And then I have Givenchy Play Intense, which I love, and I bought. I think it's a 5 ounce right on the dot, if I'm not mistaken. It's the biggest one they sold. Yeah, it's a really big one. And then what I do is I just try to save that for special occasions because it's discontinued. Because I find that one so addicting. That one is I was really bummed when that was discontinued. Yeah. So Anthony, that is incredible. Actually, I don't know that. I mean, I've gone through probably 9 bottles of, total with the 4 I currently have, and I've definitely gone through 5 in the past. So I've at least gone through 9 of Aqua di Gio, no doubt. Yeah, well, I'm old. But I definitely have, or on my, actually, I have not. I'm on my way to doing that. But that's why it's tough for me, because one of the questions, so actually, let's just go ahead and read one right now. Because Brian, subscriber Brian, the guy that sends in the bottles every once in a while for me to review, he asked, it's been a while, but he asked, what is your favorite men's cologne? And I'm assuming it means all time, not current, and that's why it's tough for me, because the answer, my emotional answer, will always be Aqua di Gio. But as we alluded to last time, when you do so many reviews, that eventually it's kind of hard to stick with one, right?
Yeah.
So
you asked me the question, or
sure.
Oh, okay. I guess if I could say like manly cologne, it just smells like a man. You know what? To be honest with you, I'm gonna have to go with Terre d'Hermes EU Intense Vetiver. I love that one.
Oh, do you? Oh, I have not smelled that version. I've got the huge one. I've got the 6.7 ounce of the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it's either the EDT or EDP. I can't remember which one I went with, but
it's probably the EDT, I think. That one, you get like that dirty orange up top.
Yeah, I think it is, because I actually ran a poll, and I think the EDT barely won on that one. So good choice. I will. Well, in fact, just since we're on it, what is it the Vetiver that you like about it?
Yeah, it's a Vetiver. It's the vetiver, and then like in the very beginning, in the very top, just with all the other terre d'hermeses that you get like that dirty orange, but with this one you get like this bright, very like juicy lemon or grapefruit. I think it's grapefruit to be honest. And it's
Okay.
not dirty at all. And then it's nice and bright, and then it just transfers to like this grassy vetiver, and it just smells masculine.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, I'm a younger guy, but I've been told I smell old, but because I've been, I wear it. But I mean, it smells good to me. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. I mean, we're just gonna, and another one too, that on the flip side of that is, I will go down with the ship when it comes to, one day, I have not done it yet because I know I'm not the target audience, but I actually will come. I like Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. I actually really like it.
yeah,
And I know it's a dated scent, and even back in the day, it was more for high schoolers and college students. I get it, but I would absolutely, I will be getting eventually a bottle of that, and I don't care about reformulations because I just want to, say that I did it. In fact, I just walked into one of the stores not long ago, and they still, put them through the vents. So when you walk in, you get that kind of late '90s, early 2000s mall smell, which is not unpleasant. I actually really really like it. So that would be my choice of getting one that's out of my age bracket, but I just like it. So Anthony says, I love Terre d'Hermes. Okay, eau très fraîche. So I have not. I have smelled that one, but I have not worn it.
that one's good. It's like a lighter, weaker version of the original Terre d'Hermes.
Okay.
Um, but it's like more for like high heat.
Hmm.
It's it's almost like it's just like I would say I wouldn't necessarily say it's like watered down, but I mean it's fresher.
Sure.
If you know,
Yeah. 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 And Julio says, my favorite back in the day was Cool Water, the original, but now it's Dior Fève Delicieuse.
that's good. That one's good.
The Dior one?
Yeah. I
Okay.
actually bought when I did my 100 subscriber giveaway. Um, there was my one of my subscribers named Weaving Spider. He wanted that one, so I went out, I bought it for him, and I did a first impressions on it, and
Hmm.
it's very gourmand. It's a gourmand. You get like some milk notes in there with some chocolate, and it very sweet. But you know what? It kind of reminded me of in the opening. It was I don't know, Julio. Did this remind you of like baby wipes? Because it kind of reminded me of like fresh Johnson baby wipes with some powdery. I don't
Sure.
know exactly what that note was, but it's
Okay.
good. It's good.
I wrote that down. I tend to like the gourmands, and so I will certainly check that out. Anthony says, my favorite fragrance back in the day was Givenchy. Oh, very irresistible. That's a great one. 2005. I still own a bottle. One of my favorite fragrances ever. That is a good one. Really flew under the radar, actually, for me at least, initially. But I got to that one a little late. Have you ever tried that one? Yeah, it's good. I came across one just in the last couple of days, hot off the press, that I actually really liked. I was in Ulta, and I tried. So this is just sampling at the store, right? Using the tester, and it was Hero by Burberry. I really like that one actually.
That one's good. I
It
own a bottle of it.
no way.
Yeah.
Does it last long?
I mean, it's not. I mean, maybe 5 hours.
Okay.
I mean but it's got some ozonic notes in there. It's got
Hmm.
some. It's interesting because like when I first sprayed it on, it kind of just reminded me of hairspray, right?
Uh-huh.
So I put it away, and I just picked it back up a couple weeks ago, and I sprayed it again, and it's very it's yeah I'd say it's for the summer for sure.
Hmm.
Very aromatic,
And
very
you have the EDT?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Burberry Hero for Men or something like that.
And then I actually tried one. This doesn't usually happen, but I actually tried one that I did not like. Now that again, that's just smelling it on my skin at the store. It's not actually giving it a full wearing, so it might not be fair. But it was Dolce and Gabbana, and I think it was a flanker of light blue, and it was called like either Italian Love or My Italian Love.
It's probably Italian Love.
Yeah, Italian Love, but I think it was like, isn't it? It's a flanker of light blue, isn't it? Or isn't that one of the flankers of it?
It's one of the flankers of the like the love. It's a Dolce Gabbana light summer love or something like that. It was like a flanker of that.
Okay. And
honestly, it was kind of trash, to be honest.
Well, I don't usually outright dislike. You know what I mean? Usually it'll be kind of lukewarm if I'm gravitating towards it. But I felt like I had like a grapefruit on me. It was not my.
Oh, you mean light blue forever?
No, it was called Italian Love. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
And it maybe it wasn't grapefruit. There was something going on where I felt like it was just kind of a piece of fruit on me.
Because that was I remember the strong grapefruit. I believe that was a Dolce Gabbana.
Was it?
I know which one you're talking about. I think the Italian Love does have that grapefruit in there too. But I know one of them, it came in like a bluish green bottle. That one had you know what I'm saying? That one had realistic grapefruit up top, and that's all you could smell for like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. This one was definitely blue. It wasn't bluish green.
Blue with the cap. Did it have like a white line around the cap? Or?
I think it did.
And it was in white letters.
Yeah, let me check. Let me just check.
Yeah, that one wasn't good.
Because
it was almost the same as I think it was called Light Blue Forever. Yeah.
Well, I have light blue, and I love light blue. and the Parfum, for the women's version, is always in my top 20 for women's perfumes. Love that one. So it was Dolce.
I think it was.
Yeah, it is. It is a flanker of. Yeah. So I'll show you. There we go.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that one.
And it was Dolce Gabbana and Gabbana, light blue. Yeah, Italian Love, and that was a pass for me. At least in my initial impression. So let's see what Julio says. I didn't get the baby wipes vibe, but we all get different nuances. Good point. In fact, that is a great segue to our next question. Subscriber, she used to drop in the channel quite a bit. It's been a little while, and so if she is watching this later, she'll let us know. Her name is LU and then capital TIA. So I don't think it's Lucia. I think it's Lutia. But she'll correct us later if that is not the case. But subscriber Lutia wanted to know. She originally said it's not so much a question as it is more of a comment, right? But she just notices that a lot of opinions will vary just with one fragrance, and that's one thing that surprised her. And so what she said was like, why is it that one person will say, the longevity is off the charts, beast mode, and then someone else will say it disappears within 2 hours?
Skin chemistry or your nose, because maybe your nose can't pick up certain type of fragrances or certain type of notes, yet. Maybe you just don't know what they smell like, or I guess I could give you an example, because like when I first got Hindu Kush by Mancera, I mean that it smelled great, but I mean it seemed like it just disappeared off my skin because I couldn't smell it, and I think I was going like anosmic to it, And, I'm just thinking over time. Or maybe it's just your nose, over time you might be able to pick it up, or maybe you weren't wearing it at, at a good season, or, maybe it was too cold, or maybe it was too hot.
Yeah.
It off. It just depends, really.
It does. And also then it also depends too on if you spray just on your skin or if you also spray on your clothes as well. Yeah. And then she also said, why she wanted to know, why do batch codes matter in the sense that when I first started these reviews, I did not do a batch code check, and that was one comment I got. And so I mean, for the designers, they perhaps matter a little bit less, but I think for those of us who follow a lot of the frags know why batch codes matter, especially on the niche side, right? If they're using fresh notes, ingredients, then they're going to really matter as far as batch codes, which is actually kind of good and bad. Like I like knowing the batch code and looking it up, but I also admit that and we talked about this in the last one, right? With the creeds can get a little
weird.
Weird, yeah, with the meaning so much, like to avoid this batch and get that batch. It's almost like buying wine, with certain years of the grape. Anthony says, I just own the original Dolce & Gabbana light blue and a flanker swimming in Lipari. Remind me of Acqua di Giosenza. Oh, I'm glad that you said that, Anthony, because I'm a huge fan of Acqua di Giosenza. I love that one, actually. And so if swimming in Lipari is somewhere near that, then that is going to make it on my want list. I like light blue, and I think are you a freshie? Are you into the freshies?
I'm trying to get into them. Yeah, I mean, I like freshies. I don't like freshies as far as like soap shower gel thing. I'd rather be citrus or some other kind of note, than
Sure.
rather than shower gel soapy vibe.
Yeah. I'm right with you. For me, it's not so much even the shower gel as it is like the Tommy Hilfiger, the 90s ones that smelled like laundry detergent.
Yeah.
That's the ones in fact, I really haven't reviewed too many of them just because it's
really.
Yeah, and it almost just seems kind of an extension of the washer and dryer. Those just don't really work for me necessarily. Yeah. Okay. So have you tried one recently that you really liked?
What, a freshie?
No. Just finishing up our topic on Hero, the one that I came up on recently that I liked. Have you tried one recently that you really think you would like?
Patchouli Leaves by Montal.
Okay, another Montal.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a little decant of it. Or no, you know what? Okay, so Patchouli Leaves by Montal, and then I was at a Sephora, and I smelled Aqua. What was it? Tom Ford Costa Azara or Costa Azura or something like that. It smelled really good.
Yeah, it is. What is it? Because it's not a Zaro. Because that's Chrome. Yeah. Costa Azzurri, isn't it like Azzuri maybe?
Or Zure or something like that.
Okay.
That one smelled really good, but to me, the Tom Fords, as far as like ombre leather, and Costa, that one I just said, Costa Zero or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of smelled similar to me. I don't know, but I'm not that big of a Tom Ford fan either, so I haven't really got my nose on a lot of Tom Fords. But it smelled good though; it lasted forever.
Well, but you have tried Neroli Portofino, right? Or no?
I don't think so. I don't really like Neroli.
Oh, really? That one was really a lot of fun to review. I really liked that one a lot. The Tom Ford, it's not. I actually like his fragrances. I just find him like it can be a little pretentious, a little bit, right?
Have you smelled Oud Mineral by Tom Ford?
No.
That one smells great.
Okay, Mineral.
Mm-hmm. It's like a mineral. It's like minerals by the ocean. Like you smell the earth, right? Like seawater with minerals or whatever, right? With oud, and I mean the dry down's great.
Okay, and then it was Costa. So it'd be like either Azzurra. It's Azzurra.
Let me look it up real quick.
Is it this one?
It's comes in a gold bottle.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah.
So it's Costa. So it'd be Azzurra or Azzurra. For if any Italian speakers can let us know if they roll their R's. I don't know. But either way, I have not tried that one. And it's not the one I was thinking of, actually, because the one I was thinking of certainly wasn't in a gold bottle. But you like this one, huh?
That one smelled really good. Yeah. It smelled really good. And then I also smelled it was a Formation Margiela. It was the matcha time or something like that. That one was good too. Didn't last long, of course, because those ones don't smell very. I mean, they don't last long since they're EDTs. But then like I was also thinking, Phantom by Paco Rabanne. That's an EDT, and that one lasts all day long. Plus, some. So, I mean, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's Paco Rabanne is one of those houses that if I had to list the top 5 favorite houses, it might crack, like it might make it as my honorable mention, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I actually really like the house. So
It's my favorite designer house.
Is it your favorite designer?
Yep. Because everything that they make, it smells great, lasts forever. I'd say the only one that doesn't last forever is Black Excess. I don't know what happened to that, because I remember it used to last forever.
It did. And I heard that as well with the reformulation. You know what I would say, though? I would say, to me personally, for Black Excess, I still think, though, if it with longevity, that the smell will it will outdo the negative. Yeah, like it smells so good. I would just reapply, because that one is a compliment getter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, so when I think of fragrance reviewers, I feel like you haven't. I still have never reviewed Shaggy by Serge Lutens, and Anthony, I unfortunately cannot speak to Shaggy, other than I probably have seen about 20 reviews on it. How about you, Dr. Goo?
Never even heard of that name.
Oh, it's a staple in the reviews. It's definitely a niche fragrance, quite expensive, and if I remember correctly, it's also beast mode. If I remember correctly, but I know it's been very popular among the reviewers. I have not reviewed anything from that house, actually. Okay, I've got another. Should we do another question?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, you know what? It's been resolved, but I'll just give you a background. So, subscriber Rosie asked about Abercrombie Play, and we found out some information, actually, because I could not find it in Fragrantica. And so I asked her if she meant Givenchy Play, and she said no, and she described the bottle, and it had moose antlers on the bottle. And so I learned something new today. Apparently, Abercrombie and Fitch, when they have a line just for kids, and it's just Abercrombie. So,
really?
So what I learned today was when they market to children, they drop and Fitch, and just go Abercrombie, and that is their children's clothing line. And then, of course, fragrance is marketed towards kids. And so we finally found out that it was a play, and it was either Life or Live. I don't remember what the other one. There were 2 of them. It's kind of like for boys and for girls. So if you ever see Abercrombie, just that one. No, it's Abercrombie. Is it Crombie? I think it is. Anyway, if you ever see that one without the end Fitch part, that's because they're marketed towards kids. Be mindful of that. And I have gone on record, in case someone wants to frantically leave the chat. I've gone on record in saying that I love and will definitely get Fierce at some point. Whether it's I think the new one, does it still have the dude with the 6-pack on it? I can't remember if it's. I think it does, like a swimmer or something. I don't know, but it is really, really good, and it lasts forever and a day. Julio has said. Shaggy is insane. And so if I remember correctly, it was on one of those beast mode. What's the guy? So what? It's Sebastian. Remember Sebastian, the guy that he always wears a baseball cap, and he's in the Bay Area, and his. Yeah. Yep.
I think he's called the Fragrance Guy now.
Now he changed it. Yeah. So it's called. What is it called again?
That Fragrance Guy.
It's either that fragrance. Well, it's funny because I think when he changed over from, remember, it was called something called like live, smell, or I don't know what it was, but it was
live great, smell good, or something.
Yeah,
great or something like that.
Yeah, you're on. That's exactly. When he changed over, I got a few subscribers, so I'm wondering. And I do, and I'm ironically wearing a baseball cap, so maybe they think I can work my inner Sebastian at some point. That Cologne guy, and then he is the perfume guy.
Oh yeah, that perfume guy. Yeah, yeah,
It's not fragrance. I guess it's the perfume guy.
yeah.
Is Sebastian. So there's the beast mode. All right, so here we go to the next one. Here's a question by subscriber Colleen. How long can you keep cologne before it's time to throw it away? So any comments on shelf life?
I just made a video about that yesterday.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You know, the funny thing is, I think that, you know, okay, look, I have an example, right? So this Diva by Emmanuel Ungaro, right? This is my mother's favorite perfume, right? This is like a 12-year-old bottle, and it smells exactly the same as what it did 12 years ago, if I can remember correctly. And she stores it properly. You know, it's all about storage, and you know, keep it out direct sunlight. You know, don't keep it in your bathroom. It's just things like that. Mostly don't keep it in direct sunlight, like take it off your windowsill. So I think, you know, they can last for decades upon decades. I even have a vintage bottle of Monsieur Musk by Dana. I mean, that one's more than, at least, I know it's got to be at least more than 30 years old.
I was gonna say at least 30.
Yeah, and I mean that doesn't smell sour. I mean, it was stored properly, and what I see really is people who don't store their fragrances correctly, and then they just go sour. You know, you'll be able to smell it too. You know,
Sure.
and the juice color will be super dark. It looked like a black. You know, really.
So what do you say to people then who say that they try to get their fragrances from discounters, and then of course the danger of that is that you don't know where they've gotten the fragrances, and it could have been like in a storefront, right?
It could have been.
Yeah.
It could have been in a storefront, but it was probably in a box. It's not like it was a display piece, you know.
Sure.
Like,
no, that's a good point.
And honestly, it's like, even if you go to your Macy's and stuff like that, where did they keep those before they brought them into Macy's? They're probably at a warehouse or something like that, where I'm assuming that the temperature was controlled correctly. You know, I mean, it's not like blazing heat. Like if I order from Fragrance X here in the United States, I live in Nevada, they have a warehouse out in Reno. And so I know that if I order from that website, it's going to get to me within 3 days, you know. But I'm not concerned about, oh, was it kept in direct sunlight? Because it wasn't, you know what I mean? And the warehouse, was it temperature controlled? It is, you know what I mean? Like, unless you want to go to Macy's, or if you want to go to that boutique, I would say the safest bet, I guess, is to go to the actual boutique and to buy a fragrance from them directly. But then also you have to understand too, it's like if you're buying an Amouage or something like that, it's come from Oman, you know, in the Middle East, and it's got to hop on a couple planes, altitude changes and stuff like that. I mean, you'll never know. But as long as when you get it and you start storing it properly, it can last decades upon decades upon decades. You know, and I just had a subscriber ask me a question because he was scared. He was like, I really want to buy Cedrat Boise by Mancera, but he's scared that the fragrance is going to go bad. And since it's a citrus heavy fragrance, you know, the top notes, of course, over the course of, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 years, it would probably fade off. Those top notes would probably fade off, but I mean, it wouldn't be so bad to where you couldn't wear it as long as you store it properly, you know. And plus, you know, like over the course of 20, 30 years, it was worth the money, because, you know, you can pick one of those up for $65 USD easy.
The Cedrat Boise?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a gamble. I mean, it really is a gamble.
It really is. When I find myself, if I really, really like the fragrance, I certainly don't mind paying more to buy it directly from the company, or the boutique, or whatever. You know, what's the expression when they have like let's say Macy's has an official, was it official distributor? What am I trying to say?
Like a third,
they're licensed, you know.
Licensed to sell that
house. Yeah, then I will definitely pay even up to quite a bit more. But when it comes to the niche, I'm not gonna, you know. If it's more than like $100 difference, it's like, sorry, I'm gonna go gambling. And Rosie has a question. And by the way, Rosie, if you just hopped on, we talked a little bit earlier about the Abercrombie play topic. So she says, any thoughts on dime scents, beauty scents? There is a man's scent. Is that your phone?
Yeah, my bad.
No worries at all. Any thoughts on dime scents? There is a man's scent called Number One that seems popular right now.
God damn it. Hold on. I'm sorry.
No sweat. No sweat. In fact, I'll start while you're working on that.
Yeah, let me mute myself.
Sure. So Rosie, I have not tried dime scents. I'm assuming it's not dime. Dime scents. There's a man's scent. I will look that up later. And if any of the viewers can speak to dime scents and the specific fragrance called Number One, let us know. Anthony says, Versus or Versus Uomo by Gianni Versace, 1991. There's another one that you guys have asked. Well, so subscriber Brian really wants me to get into the vintage ones. And I really don't have right now any like super old bottles. I really don't. Whether it be through eBay or just having old ones laying around. I usually sear through mine. And because I'm interested in so many different types, I don't usually keep buying, as we talked about earlier, with the exception of a few. Now, and then to throw into the one exception to the backup bottles is whenever I see those really, really cheap deals for the Chrome Azzaro testers, was like, $18 or something.
Yeah.
I usually try to grab that. So Dr. Goo, can you speak to dime scents?
I've never heard of dime scents before.
Okay, yeah. So Rosie, I will look into that, and we will get back to you and check out Number One. That seems to be popular now. I always enjoy learning about new houses and new fragrances. So that would be another one. Go ahead.
Is it like Number One? Is it? I wonder if it's similar to Fashion Fair Number One by Fashion Fair.
Okay, let me double check that.
That one is discontinued. That one's my mom's like all-time favorite. I've been looking online on eBay for Fashion Fair Number One. Can't find it nowhere.
Yeah, isn't that frustrating whenever there's one? There was one fragrance that I was helping a buddy move. This has been a long time ago. And he was living in the US, but he was from Algeria. And his brother came over from Algeria and to visit, and then we all helped him move, right?
Yeah.
And his brother had this. I don't remember I looked for it for years. I finally just gave up, right? But it had an Eiffel Tower on it, and it was another one. Was like I asked him what it was and wrote it down, and I, for the life, this would be from so that was 2000. So this would be up until 2010, 11, 12 is when I finally stopped with it. Is there anyone that you have been looking for that have never been able to find?
Fashion Fair.
Okay. Oh, for your mom, right?
Yeah. I mean, not really any for me, because I don't know. Number one, I don't have the cash flow to even buy something like super discontinued like that.
Sure,
where I know the price is going to be just outrageously expensive.
Yeah.
But I will look for stuff that, like my mom, or if my dad, was looking for something that he used to wear back in the day, like Gucci Noble. You know what I mean? But even those, you could find those for sure, but I'm not going to pay the $500.
It was the one I wore for a long time. It was either I think it was called by the house was Lancetti, if I remember correctly. I don't think it was Lancotti. I think it was Lancetti, Lancetti, and it was Il, meaning he in Italian, and it was a red bottle, and I loved that stuff. And then there was the store in Texas that used to, this is a long time ago, but it was a guy that used to, it was an independent store, and he carried discontinued, hard to find fragrances. And they were really at a reasonable price. Actually, it sounds like a commercial or something, but it really was. And I saw for a few more years, I actually bought that one. In fact, if I had to list like the top 5 fragrances that I've had like 3 or more bottles of, it'd be what? Acqua di Gio, Azzaro Chrome, and then IL by, I think it's Lancetti, would definitely be in 3 of the top 5. Have you had 3 or more bottles of anything?
What do you mean?
Have you had 3 of like 100 milliliter, 3.4 ounces or bigger bottles of the same fragrance?
Not at one time.
Or I mean, at all.
What's it called? Dracar Noir.
Okay.
Yeah. And I dropped one of them. That's the thing. I dropped one of them when I was working security one time, and I think it was a full bottle. I dropped it, burst all over the place, and I didn't get another one.
Man,
a while, but it wasn't a 3.4 ounce. It was a smaller one.
Sure. But isn't the standard size like 2.5 for them? Isn't it? I don't know.
So the 75 mLs,
something like that. Yeah. And I've that would qualify too, because I definitely have 3 or more of that one. People can say what they want about that fragrance, but 2 things happen. Number one is it's unforgettable. It might be unforgettable for all the wrong reasons for you, but it's unforgettable. And then number 2, it garners compliments.
It does.
So it holds its own. I loved Dracar, and Julio will probably tell you too. So if in the early 90s, everyone was rocking either Cool Water or Dracar Noir, or both, depending on the time of the year. I've got another couple questions if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this one was submitted by Ramsey, and if you guys have not checked out his channel, you will want to do so. He is, speaking of vintage fragrances, he is incredibly knowledgeable. In fact, before we started today, this is an older comment, and I had to run a search to find it. And I was going back and looking at all of his comments that he has left, over the months, and they're all like these master's theses, for every fragrance. I mean, the guy is just so knowledgeable, and if you have not seen his collection, he finally did do a couple of episodes where he showed his whole collection. It's just incredible. It's like 350 or 400 bottles. And I mean bottles, not decants. It is incredible. So he said he started his question was, at least initially, right? Am I wearing this or that fragrance in the correct season? So his question was, because he later went on to say that it's kind of like what we do, right? Like, at least me, I really don't think about seasons. I just don't. I do it for the reviews, but I get up wherever either when I'm going to review for that week, or if it's a theme week or something where I don't have to worry about that, then I'll just put on whatever I feel like wearing that day. And a lot of it seemed to be that way. But do you? I think you talked about, you don't go by season, do you?
No, I don't. I wear what I want to wear whenever I want to wear it. And even like Red Tobacco by Mancera, I wear that in 100-degree heat.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand, because let's give another example, right? Like hot chocolate. What do you think of hot chocolate? That when you smell that, that reminds me of Christmas. So around that time, if you wear that one, I mean, obviously it's gonna be more. You're probably gonna be noticed more. You know what I mean? It's gonna fit in better with that.
With that, yeah. And I have to admit, the one exception would be Burberry London. I usually reserve that for the holidays, but it's more just out of tradition, I guess, than anything. Because I'm like you. Because for the episode, the little teaser I put out a couple of days ago, your scent of the day was the what was it? Just give me a second. Encre Noir à l'extrême.
Yeah.
So that is certainly not a fragrance you would associate with the hot summer. But
No, but you know what? It dries down to this nice woody note. Like it's like a nice wood, like you're walking through a Lowe's
yep,
wood pile or lumber yard. So I
yep,
feel like, even after you get, after the opening, because it's a little strong when you first spray it on, but once it dries down, it's nice, you know. So and then you got to think about it too. It's like if you're somewhere where you're not really outside and you're in AC, it doesn't matter
yeah,
because if you're wearing something for the summer, okay, well you're inside somewhere where it's going to be 65, 75 degrees.
right, right,
So it's like, unless you're working outside or you're going to be outside or something like that, where the heat is really going to affect you or the cold is really going to affect you, it
yeah.
don't matter.
Yeah, well, and also if unfortunately for me, I'm a sweataholic, so in my case, that will come into play as well. So if you're the type of person that really doesn't, if you don't sweat too much and things, then you don't have to worry about it as much. Good point though, because if you're working in a climate controlled area anyway, right, it's probably not going to come into play that much. So, I mean, because think about it, we have a lot of subscribers from places like Malaysia and India that have year round. They're in very hot climates, and they're also just purchasing essentially whatever fragrance they just outright like. Yeah, I love. We talked about it last time because I love Encre Noire, the original, and I love the I almost like à l'extrême almost better, and then I have not tried the sport yet, so that's up soon. I need to get to that. I love both of those fragrances. So okay, so Anthony says yes, I do. Prada Luna Rosa Extreme, Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme, different batches. Okay, Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Cologne, Givenchy Play Sport, or and Armani Code Ultimate. All right, so there's a lot going on there. Do you have any of the Luna Rosas?
You know what? I had a sample of it and I didn't like it. It's bad.
The original one, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the extreme or not. I don't think it was the extreme, but it was just the regular Prada Luna Rosa. I didn't like it.
I didn't either. I didn't. No, the extreme I have not tried, but I'm with you. I didn't. It was a pass for me. The original, but the extreme was probably. What's that?
It didn't smell like really anything. It was kind of maybe a little, if I can remember correctly. I haven't smelled it in a while, but it was kind of like. I remember it was a very strong blast of alcohol, and then like it kind of just dried down to this basicness.
Yeah. No, I couldn't have said it better myself. Actually, I felt like it didn't necessarily. It was one of those kind of nice ones that maybe didn't have a lot of personality. Now, if Anthony's getting grumpy at us, recall we're talking about the original, not the one that the extreme, and it's just our opinion. So I do admit I love Prada Amber. That one is one that I love. I just wish they would get the name right because it has like 4 names to it.
Does it?
Yeah. What is it? I think in this country it's called Amber, and it doesn't have amber in it. So it's kind of odd. And then it's called Prada Man in other countries. I think it's a copyright issue. I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's called either Amber here or abroad Prada Man, but I am not sure why. I'm assuming it's a copyright, or maybe it's because it doesn't smell like amber at all. And that is really the only thing wrong with that fragrance because that one rules. Okay. Julio says, I wear mine according to my mood. Okay, that's cool. That's a great comment, actually, to go by. Yeah, I just enjoy getting up and then just kind of looking into the collection and kind of get a feel for what seems right. Yes, looking at the money pit, looking into the abyss. And now, how about this, Dr. Goo? Do you ever? I know you don't, but any thoughts on people who have the dorm style college refrigerators and put their fragrances in refrigerator?
You know what? I've never tried it. I've heard of people who buy like wine coolers where you can like set the actual temperature, so it's that exact temperature.
Yep.
But I've never known anybody personally or ever heard of anybody just sticking their fragrances right in their refrigerator. I would think that'd be kind of bad, unless like they only use that refrigerator for fragrances and not like there's food in there too, where they can continuously open and close it and open and close it. You know.
Yeah, I'm assuming they would probably just keep it in their, in their closet or something. But that seems to me, well, I mean, I would do anything that worked, but it's just that seems to be a little extreme, but no pun intended. So
I mean, you know what? I would use one for like the super niche stuff. Like if I wanted, if I had some Tom Fords or my Amouages or those expensive stuff, where I don't use them all the time, but whenever I want to use them, I want to make sure that they're stored properly, because everything else is, I mean, they don't cost as much,
Yeah, I'm just trying to think on Instagram. I think his name is, I think it's called Sense of Smell. And then I think it's a play on words, right? This is like SCENTS instead of SENSE, but it's something along those lines. And I've forgotten his first name because it's been a while since we went back and forth on YouTube. He has an Instagram, and he was an engineering, I think it was, graduate student in the States, and then he went back. And I think he's from Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But he also does some work where they will send him stuff, right?
Yeah.
But he on Instagram put some pictures up of his collection once, and he's got a very expensive collection. Even if, like, let's just say half of them he bought and the other half were sent to him, he's still, yes, it's incredible what he has. And so if I had probably his collection, I would consider something like that.
Yeah,
for
all those
in an ideal world. Yeah, I mean. But like we said last time, I like to watch wristwatch reviews as well. And, they'll say things like, oh yeah, this one's only $7,000. It's not too bad. So I think all the frag heads are thinking, man, $7,000. I think I could buy a lot of perfume and fragrance, with $7,000. So, okay. Any questions for us that you have, or comments? Or anything, if you feel, Dr. Goo, that we didn't address or we didn't get to.
It's like going once, going twice. Bueller.
But I mean, I'm saying on your end too. Do you have any questions you want to throw out?
Man, I'm bad at the interview thing, man.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm trying to think of some stuff, but man, I'm bad at the interview. If I was an interviewer, dude, I would be fired.
I'll just keep going then. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. I really enjoy chatting with you. So we'll just we'll keep on keeping on, as they say. Right. For your channel, can you think of one that for which you've given a downright, you've watched my channel, so I give a review out of 5 sprays. Mm-hmm. And 3 is kind of, and then of course 4 and 5 are good, and then 1 or 2 are a pass. Have you given any 1 and 2s out?
Yeah. So Reflection Man by
Mars. Okay.
And Memo Paris African Leather. That
by
Memo Paris.
Okay.
African Leather by Memo Paris. It smelled like cat piss.
Oh, is it? But it's not. It's not the vintage.
No. It's the dry down's great on that one, but I mean, it's not a vintage one at all.
It's a scrubber, as they say.
It's a scrubber. Immediately. I had sprayed it on my hand because I was doing the first impressions on it, and I was like, yeah, it smells like cat piss. And I mean, it smells like cat piss and cardamom. That's what it smells like.
Yeah.
A nice cardamom smell, which it gets a lot better after the dry down. But the first initial 30 minutes, it was so bad.
So what's the castoreum, right? Is the note that usually, right? Because so castor, for the Spanish speakers out there, castor is beaver. And so the note castoreum, it comes from, it's an animalic scent, right? But I mean, it comes from beaver, and it's the musk that is taken off the animal. And so that was really, really popular, like from like 75 to 85. And I'm like you, I can't get into those scents. Actually, I feel like I'm, I need to say that I do to be like the manly man, the alpha male, but I just can't say that I like them.
I mean, as long as they don't go like super animalic, then it's cool. But as soon as they go into like super dirty animalic, where it's just smells like an animal, I'm just like,
yeah. Well, like Koros.
That one's tough.
that one, what?
That one's tough.
That one is just, not me. And Ramsey, always would just shake his head, as it's sacrilegious to say that you don't care for Koros. But yeah, I just don't get it, especially when it comes to like when you have the combination of castoreum or any really any like musk or animalic note combined with like carnation. That's when I cash in my chips. No thanks. I don't. The disco era has come and gone. Okay, so it's time to move on from that. Julio has said, African Leather and Reflection Man to me are masterpieces. So you see, so you didn't care for those. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep going then. Julio, thanks for letting us know that. Have you had any? What's the fragrance for which you've gotten the most pushback from your subscribers? Like, where you were lukewarm on it, and you got a lot of, how can you say that?
Probably African Leather. And
okay.
Man, to be honest, because a lot of people were like, "Oh man, I love it. You got to give it another try. You might get used to it." And like, I had a little bit left. I tried to wear it again, and I was like, because Reflection Man, it's not bad. It's just way too floral.
It's way too what?
It's way too floral.
Yeah. Well, the problem, that's the interesting thing about the niche companies, right? Is when they start doing things where I don't know about you, but with like Reflection Man, I get a little, I have a hard time teasing that one apart from like other designer fragrances. Yeah. And as a niche company, you don't want to be doing that, right? You don't want someone to say, "Oh, it smells like," what was the one? Was it it was Reflection Man is the clear one. So it's the one that smells like Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male, right? Yeah. So I mean, do you really want to be known as a company that puts out $300 fragrances that smell like Le Male? And the answer to me should be no.
Le Male smells good.
No, it does. It does. I just mean.
Oh yeah, similarities as far as.
My point is then all the more reason just to buy Le Male, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reflection is extremely floral. Yeah, that was the one that I was thinking of. All right, so the biggest actually. I'm trying to think on any of it. I really didn't get too much pushback. It's just some of the vintage ones. I've been, they'll say something like, you really need to give this a second chance or something, just because I'm not, terribly into it. But I do try to take in consideration in the review the overall effect or impact, and not just my own, biases, right?
Yeah.
In fact, the name escapes me, but one of the worst ones that I've ever reviewed was it was by the Olsen twins. Yes, and it's those Olsen twins. That fragrance was not. I think it was called Midnight something, and that was a 1 or 2. That was definitely a pass. But so far, usually, because a lot of times the ones I review are subscriber recommendations anyway, right? So they tend to be very, very solid releases. So it can be challenging. And it's been every once in a while I actually like getting one that I don't really care for, just because you don't want to just say like everything's great either. So you want to be a little discerning. Okay. And what would be the opposite? What is one that you like or liked a lot that either didn't get a lot of feedback, or people just gave feedback but said they disagreed?
If I could think, just like on my channel or just like
Yeah.
my personal.
Either way, either way.
Man, let's see here. Probably Oud Touch and Oud Vini, but
Okay.
I don't really think I got a lot of pushback on my channel. I think that's one of my most viewed videos, to be honest with you. But like when I
Okay.
first posted it, it didn't do good, and I was like, huh, maybe people aren't interested. But I mean, in real life, I didn't get a lot of good compliments, I guess, from those because it's oud and people
Yeah.
they're not really hip to that, you know.
What
Uh,
are there? What would be 2 or 3 fragrances that you liked and didn't get any feedback on wearing it? Not on your channel, but like
well, any feedback. So let's see. Probably that I liked, no feedback. Probably um, Paco Rabanne's Pure Excess Night. That's one of them.
okay. I'm
Then another one would probably be, I, maybe it was a Bulgari Aquamarine or Aquamarine. Yeah, by Bulgari.
the right the or Sal is it aquamarine?
Yeah, it's Bulgaria, Bulgari Porom, or
It
Bulgari
it's aqua and then marine something, isn't it?
Marine Porom, I think.
Oh, is okay. All right, because
Yeah,
it's funny you should say that because mine would have been Bulgari Aqua, just the original.
I love that one.
No, no, I love it too. Yeah, no, I loved it, but nothing. And then the other one was yeah, it was He Would. I think we mentioned last time, but it was He Would by the D Squared, the Canadian company. I absolutely loved it. I felt like it wore well on my skin, and zilch.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's not gonna right. That's not gonna be impact my decision whether or not I get it again. But it was kind of funny. And then I guess the other one that I got, the opposite for me was I had an aftershave of Lalique. So hold on, it wasn't the one with the lion on it, but it was the horse. So it was Equus.
Okay.
Equus, and it has a horse on it, and it was the aftershave version, and I detested that thing, and I got so many compliments. It's not even funny, and to me, it's a hamster cage in a bottle. I just
Really?
I mean I obviously it was more of like a horse saddle
Yeah.
smell. Yeah, because I mean I got ridiculous amount of compliments, and I mean from people all over the spectrum, right? Like older women, younger women, men, relatives, people I didn't know, you name it, and it became kind of a joke actually, right? Because I was
Yeah.
just trying to wear it just to get it out of my yeah, and then I kept getting compliments. So
Yeah.
oh,
One of those,
the irony.
one of those for me, I guess, would be Azara Wanted by Night.
Yeah,
That one, I don't like it at all. I mean, it's a weird mango cinnamon combo, but
yeah.
everyone seems to love it. I mean, every time I wear it, it's like, dang, you smell good. And I'm like, man, I can't even smell it. You know?
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it smells that good. And another one was Paco Rabanne Lucky. That's another one where I was like,
Okay.
I mean, it smells kind of basic, but the women love it. Oh, and then another one, Bulgari Aqua Atlantique. That's another one I don't. I like it kind of, but it's not. It's not something I would wear, and
Yeah.
people love it.
What's the Aqua Amara was the one I have now, and I really like that one a lot.
That was like
So
the Neroli Mandarin Orange combo thing. Right?
yeah, more almost to me, it's like almost more Mandarin Orange, but you don't care for that one?
I like the opening. It dries down to too much Neroli.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. You're not the Neroli fan. Okay. So you said earlier. I was going to ask. You said earlier your favorite house designer is Paco Rabanne.
Yep.
How about niche?
Homage right now.
Right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got Interlude Man and Figment Man.
Oh man,
Love those.
actually, one of the things, irrespective of what I had to say about the review, Figment Man has gotten me the most the strongest opinions.
Yeah.
Right, feedback, almost all positive, by the way. People, it has like a fervent cult following.
Yes.
So I appreciate it. I mean, I certainly like it. I just don't know that I like it as much as you know.
That one's so strange because it smells like dirt.
It's wet soil.
It's wet soil all
It's
day.
it's if you take a walk after rain, out and like on a muddy trail somewhere, that's what it's going to smell like. And so I liked it. I just can't say that I liked it as much as others. How about next purchase? Do you know yet?
Jubilation 25 for sure.
Mm.
I'm saving up for it. I'm almost this close.
Dr. Goo. Dang.
Close.
You're gonna go there, tester or actual bottle?
I'm just buying the full bottle.
Damn.
I know I'm gonna like it. I already know I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, well, if you don't, what you can do with that bottle. Yes, that is. I love. That was one that was. It still is for me next to impossible to find anything negative at all. The only thing I guess you can make an argument, and it's not even really a valid one, right? Mm-hmm. I just mean, I guess the only thing you could say is that because it has such a specific smell, it's not quote unquote for everyone, you know. But I mean, that's in the end, I didn't take any points off for that because, like, how can you? It's a masterpiece. Yeah.
I haven't smelled it yet, but I really looking for it because I was like, I could get a sample for like 25, or I could just buy the thing, instead of wasting the $25. Because it's a classic scent. I know I'm gonna like it. I like that realm,
Yeah,
super masculine.
For a niche house, I would have, of course, said overall I'd have to say Amouage if we're considering all the times that I've done episodes throughout the years, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I will say, so is it MFK, Montal, and Mancera are really three houses though that have really moved up the rankings for me, and are really flirting with taking down Amouage. I mean, if I could only give one, and it would have to be over time, I would still say Amouage. Yeah. And then it gets designer realm. It gets a little like, we talked like with Dior and Hermes. Like, do you it's kind of tough, but the designer realm would be harder for me to actually just list one. Julio says, I like Givenchy. I like the fact that it's hard maybe to say my favorite, but what I like about them is that it's always good. Yeah. So Julio has said my favorite niche house is he's got a couple of these, if I'm not mistaken, is Francesca Bianchi. So another one that I have not tried from that house. Have you?
No, but I've been talking. I talked to this guy on Instagram, and he joined our last live stream. His name is Rick Miami, and he loves this house, Francesca Bianchi. He just got a couple bottles, I believe, and I forget the names of which ones he got, but he loves it.
Okay, I'm going to check that house tonight. Actually, that's a new house for me, and that is niche. So Julio, how about designer? I mean, yeah, we alluded to this in the last chat. I mean, Armani would probably have to win out for me in the end if I can only list one, but it's pretty tough. I'm glad you said Rabanne because I feel like Paco Rabanne doesn't get enough love, right?
I don't think so either. Everyone says they're played out but they smell good. I mean, they might be a little youthful, you know what I mean, as far as terms of smell goes, but sure. I mean, everything smells really good, and they last a long time too.
I think that matters. I mean, I understand what people are saying. They're saying, number one, their marketing is definitely toward young males. Yeah, their marketing is not my favorite, but I would also say though that I appreciate the fact that they last a long time, and I know that they're highly synthetic notes. That's why people will roll their eyes. But I mean, like we've talked about before. I mean, when you get into fragrance, you're going to like what you like. If it's something has a lot of synthetic notes in it, but it's super cheap, I mean, most of us are okay with whatever we like. We like what we like.
Yeah.
Okay, Julio says designer is dice roll for me. Yeah, that one's the designer realm is tough, isn't it? Just to choose one house. I would I'd probably say Armani wins, but I would say that when I see if I saw any Givenchy on sale, I'd probably just grab it, right?
Just grab it.
Yeah, like it might not be my absolute favorite, but they've always put out a very solid product. And Debbie's on. So good afternoon. We're still here, and we're gonna wrap up in a little bit. But it's nice to see people coming and going and popping in.
I'm surprised you didn't say Aqua de Joe.
For what?
Oh, well, that's never mind. That's
no, you mean for the designer? Yeah. By Armani.
By Armani.
No, but here's the thing. It's by Giorgio Armani, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think it's his daughter. His daughter is Emporio. So some of the Armanis have like an eagle on them. Yeah. And they're by Emporio, and I think that's either his son or daughter. I don't.
I didn't even know it was related like that.
It's a different company, but it's his relative, and some of those are good too. But I don't know that I would go so far as to say like I would like any of them. But yeah, I got to go with. We'll specifically say Giorgio Armani on best house, but knowing of course that it's not necessarily the most natural, but I don't care. And then what's the one I was looking at too? What's the gourmand that's really, really sweet and it has like a pink bottle it's like almost like a triangle, like a cone. That one has come up a lot. It's very, very, very sweet.
It's got a pink bottle. It looks like a triangle.
It's like a cone, and then the juice is pink. I'm trying to think because that has been one that's been recommended for me. It's kind of a cheapie. I'll have to come back to that. Yeah. What I've noticed is after the hour mark, some of the names get a little
fuzzy.
Just a little fuzzy. That's going to bother me though. I will get you think of something to ask or to talk about, and then I'm going to look that up really quick because that's bothering me.
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure if we talked about this last time. But what do you think about like the current state of Fragcom as far as like on YouTube, like with the top 10 lists and just people really don't do single reviews anymore. I don't know if we had talked about that last time or what do you think about that?
So two things. I mean, number one for me is it's an interesting mix because I don't like the infomercial approach to it and the superficiality, right? Yeah. There are a lot of people out there that are very charismatic and attractive, and they'll say, they'll put, spray it out in the air, and they'll say, "Oh, I really like this," and then they'll have, and that's fine. That's fine. I certainly don't blame them for. I mean, they're highly successful channels, right?
Yeah.
I would just say that I'm usually a little bit surprised by how popular the fragrance reviews are that are simply just like, spraying and just say, yeah, it's cool. Check me out later. Yeah. And how much
with no button breakdown, they don't break it down,
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. And in fact, there was a comedian, there was one episode, it was kind of funny. It was like, a guy was making fun of like the reviewers that go into all the detail. Yeah. And it's like, I was like, well, that's kind of me, but that's all right. You know, I so that would be the only thing I would say is I miss the Robes '08 type days. All right, where the camera would go down into the bottle, and he would talk about everything, the box and everything. But hey, the market. I mean, people are going to go where the views go, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think a healthy mix in the end.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way because you get a lot of clickbait thumbnails, with whatever, and it's
Absolutely.
like you can tell, man. You could tell when someone's trying to sell you something.
Totally. I mean, or when it's their job, right?
Yeah.
Like for us, it's a hobby, So I mean, you can tell when they are a YouTuber as their job.
Yeah.
Have you gotten the junk mail offers yet for likes?
No, not yet.
So one thing on Google, you hopefully you don't, but after a while, I noticed I started getting these, emails saying you can actually buy likes, so people, yes. So you and it's exactly how it sounds. You purchase it, and then you can purchase. Let's say you purchase like 10,000 likes, and then your video will just have that much, and you will catapult up to the top of the.
What if you don't have 10,000 views?
You'll get 10,000 more then. So that is, I have a feeling that some people, maybe not in fragrance, but I think some people do that initially to start off to kick.
Oh, I think so. I mean, I can name off a whole bunch of channels that I think have bought either subscribers or likes. I'm not trying to stir the pot, so I ain't gonna name nobody. But you know who you are, you know what I mean?
You're not gonna throw anybody under the bus.
You know what? I will. School of Scents. I know he has for sure. I mean, I guess some of you guys might not like this, but I'm pretty sure TLTG. Like I said, I don't hate the guy.
Sure.
I'm just saying,
yeah. No, man. I'm asking you. So if there's a controversy, you can just say I was asked. My opinion. Yeah. No, you're not, because I mean I'm asking. And I've noticed too some of those ones where they'll do like a gentleman channel, like a well-dressed, and then they'll also include fragrance. Those also do really, really well as well. So yeah, that would be who was the first reviewer that you started watching?
Oh, probably probably Robes '08.
Was it?
Yeah, and I was like, I loved his reviews.
Me too.
And he's been gone for like a year now, and people keep asking him when he's going to come back. I remember Joy Admin. Too. I used to watch a whole bunch of his stuff.
It's from Bangladesh, right?
Yeah, and then Chaos Fragrances. And I used to watch his stuff before he like blew up.
Yeah.
And so whatever you want to think about his channel now, I mean, I'm not gonna speak about it. And also,
sure.
What's his name? That's the other guy.
Red Adolescence.
Red Adolescence. That's another one where I used to watch. And then Gent Sense. I also watched his channel too.
Yeah, that's true. I started off. I started off with Street Sense, and which
that one's good too. Yeah,
you have seen, okay, because every once in a while I just love going back. And part of it's just because I just love the way he talks, and I love where he'll interview somebody and like a train goes by.
Yeah,
and I love the spontaneity of Al at Street Sense. I really do enjoy. That was my first channel that I really got into, and part of it was because, like I said, it was like, he would interview somebody, and seriously, like a truck would be in reverse, and it would be making that alarm that they make when they're in reverse, and he would just keep going. And
yeah, he just like random people out on the street.
He just grab random people, and so
you think about it. I remember watching his Black Afghano video years ago, and like lady or the guy is like, yeah, it smells like a cigarette or something, and like just because okay, that's another question too, because like, have you ever wore a fragrance and somebody would be like, oh, that smells good, or that doesn't smell good, and you'll be like, okay, well, what does this smell like to you? Be as descriptive as possible. And it's funny because a lot of them don't know, You know what I mean? They'll describe it in their own way. You know, they'll try to just, oh, it smells clean, or okay, so what about clean? Like, how clean does it smell? What does that remind you of? And
Uh-huh.
just like pick their brain to see exactly like their perspective on something that you're wearing, because it will smell different on you than it will on them. So, you know, just like I wore a interlude man to work, and it was a mistake because it was way too humid, and I did like 5 sprayed, and it's 5 sprays, and some guy was like, "Dude, what you got on, man? That's strong." And then someone else was like, "Yeah, dude, that's strong, man. You smell like a Christmas tree." And I was like, "Oops, 5 sprays too much," you know.
You can never have too much sprays of too many sprays of interlude man, right? But
So once it dried down, though, they're like, "Man, you smell good. You smell sweet, man. What is
yeah, I was
that?"
going to say they're probably asking too because they want to buy themselves a bottle, right?
Are you the type to like gatekeep too? Like, you don't want somebody to know what, if you have like this super secret scent, you would just be like, "Oh, it's just Giorgio Armani or whatever." You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. No. I would never. I always, in fact, I write down the name and let them know. And how about you?
No, I'll tell them, and then I'll bring them a sample too if I can. If we work
Yeah.
together or something like that. I'm like, "Hey, man, I'll get you a sample."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm the same way. No gatekeeping here
yeah,
at all. Just because in the end, like we talked about last time. Coming back to your question too about Fragcom, I guess my only thing would be it kind of goes back to what I said last time for Fragrantica. I just wish they would just say, look, the discussion threads, you're going to have people who like fragrance for themselves only, and then you're going to have people who care highly about whether it be the same gender or different, doesn't matter, but they want compliments, right?
yeah.
And I just wish we wouldn't have to really constantly talk about that. There's always that always annoys me, right? When somebody will say like, "Oh, don't ask about if it garners compliments, just wear it for yourself." Well, that's not really for you to decide, right? Because the person clearly cares about getting attention. So
Yeah, which is unfortunate. You know what I mean? Regardless of whatever, you know what I mean? It's just
it is. It is. I mean, it's certainly not the way to go. But I just mean, if they're looking to wear fragrance only for that, then
that's their choice. You have
absolutely.
the right to choose that.
And we've got the pride of the Emerald Island, I think is what he said last time. Bren is here. Good evening, and it is a rather late evening on his end. So thanks for stopping in. We really appreciate that. We decided for the first time, and this time too, really not to have a stoppage time. So we'll just kind of keep going. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go until I remember the name of the pink one, because that's really going to drive me nuts. It's super sweet, has chocolate in it, and we will just keep going until we get this. So
What else? What were we talking? Oh, we were talking about the people having their right to choose, right? However they want to wear fragrances for either compliments or just for themselves. Yeah, I figured that's more as for like the younger guys, like teenagers and stuff like that in high school, and they want to attract the ladies, or the females want to attract I don't know, maybe males want to attract males, or females
that's
want
what I mean. Is that it doesn't in the end it doesn't matter. It's just more like here's what I would say for me personally. Of course, I wear for me alone, right? Of course I do.
yeah,
But I will say that I mean, I do take into consideration if something is complimented or the opposite, right?
right, yeah,
I mean, it will make me think twice. But really, the bottom line is, I just find it odd. I guess if I found one that I really liked, but it doesn't last at all,
yeah,
then it's like, well, that's great. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, to me, that's worse than not getting any feedback at all or any compliments. You know what I mean? Is
yeah.
like a fragrance I might like, but after an hour and a half, it's gone. I'm just not going to invest in fragrances like that.
No, And that would probably be like your nighttime scent or something like that before you go to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point. Good point. That'd be something I would consider as a right before bed or after shower fragrance in the evening. That's true. Yeah. Good point.
So you got any that you just wear right to sleep, or because you know they're not gonna last long or whatever like that, they fade quick?
Ooh. Well, for me, it's. I used to wear Lalique pour Homme, the one that has the lion embossed on them, but
Yeah.
that one's it's not because it doesn't last long, because it actually does. I just really liked that scent at night, so I'd probably go with I'd have to go with that one, but it's not because of poor longevity.
Okay. It just kind of calms you.
It does. It has a very kind of clean, calming presence to it, and you're gonna hear actually it get kind of loud in here now because our dog is back, so she's gonna make an appearance.
Bring her on the live.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Hey there. Hi. So let's see. We've got more comments. It says, Brand says, not really into getting compliments, to be honest. And when I do, I kind of feel, and then I think it got chopped off. So Debbie says, well, I'll just say it's my mom. I feel weird saying Debbie, so it's my mom.
Oh.
My mom says, am I the only one who always likes the cheaper colognes like Illusion? Yeah, she does. Actually, she likes what she likes also, right? And oftentimes the ones I've reviewed that are outlandishly expensive, she has no interest in. She tends to like, so what I would say is this, she tends to like the designer fragrances. I don't know. It's the cheaper ones. I don't know if I'd say that. It's more like the designer and not so much of the Moroccan, bread, Belgian pancake type niche fragrances that are a little out there. She likes the crowd pleasers. That's what I would say. And there's the dog. So and also you guys see that it just kind of goes off, doesn't it? Not really into getting compliments, Brent says, to be honest. And when I do, I kind of feel, and then something else. So maybe there's a new message coming here soon. A lot of people are not, into getting them. It's not the determining factor for me though. Cause I have gotten 0 on Aqua by Bulgari, as I said, and then the D squared He Would. Those two, and I would absolutely get them again at the right price. So
do you feel? Let's see. When I do, I kind of feel.
Yeah, and then it's so
weird, or
yeah,
like
odd.
Yeah, odd. Yeah.
And like we said, it can be the type of approachability that you have or your job too, right? Yeah. So remember what was the name of his actual channel? But it was Carlos. Bald guy,
the Brooklyn fragrance lover.
Yeah. Remember who sadly passed away. He was a wonderful guy. He would go to his work and just ask the people he worked with in many episodes what they thought. And in fact, some of the episodes that I liked, he would do a review, and then kind of at the end, right, he would include like these 4 or 5, 6 people giving their opinion on them. And I like that a lot, but
yeah, Doc, also Doc, Doc Drake. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He would do that too.
Yep. And then the Englishman,
Mr. Smelly.
Yes. Yeah, isn't it like 1977 or something like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did a few of those where I don't know if he still does them because I haven't watched his channel recently.
I don't think so,
no. Yeah, but I know when he first started, or at least when I first found the channel, I saw him go to a few pubs and just walk up to some of the ladies and ask them. And I thought that was cool to, especially when they're niche, right? It's so funny to, see something that's like $300 and then, he'll give this review and then he'll go to a pub and ask, 2 or 3 women and they're like, yep, thumbs down. It sucks. Or when people will say things like, in the discussions, they'll say things like, I love this one, but my partner hates it, I guess you'd have to, consider things like that for obvious reasons. So
Yeah, sometimes I mean, there's a couple that the girl, she don't like it at all, but I don't care. You know what I mean? I do this for me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Unless like we're gonna
yeah,
be close somewhere all the time, then obviously I'd spare. I wear something, or I
yep,
won't wear anything. So
right, right. I mean, I guess the opposite. So do I have any fragrances? Do I stop wearing fragrances if I like them but get no feedback? And the answer is no. I will always get more. If I like it, that's all that matters. I will say the opposite though has happened, like the Equus aftershave, where I got tons of compliments, and you really couldn't pay me at this point. Well, actually, I would probably do it for some money, but it would take a lot of money for me to actually get another bottle of that. So Bren says, here we go. Sorry, let me. Brent says, sorry, Ben, to continue. I want to say I feel a need to mention the name, brand, etc., to distract myself and put emphasis on the fragrance. Weird, I guess. Got to just learn to take it and shut up. So we were talking about that, remember, before we started recording. Yeah. So have you guys either that are watching now, or we can finish up the discussion? Be a perfect way to end this. Actually, is to go come full circle with our chat, because we were talking about positive and I guess neutral and negative experiences that we've had by asking people what their fragrance is. Do you guys out there ask? And if you're watching this after the live stream, please still comment and let us know. Because on my end, I do. And it's a weird situation, right? Because if it's a guy, you don't, I feel more comfortable actually, right?
yeah,
Because with the woman, I don't want her to think that I'm trying to come on to her. I actually just want the name of the fragrance, right?
fragrance, yeah.
But I have had, an experience where the guy was kind of, weirded out by being asked what fragrance. Maybe, but who knows if it's because I was a guy or he just didn't like it. I don't know. But
You know what? I think I think it really has to do with like that stigma, because like as men, we're not really. I mean, I guess we're not really the type to give each other compliments, right? Because it
yeah,
was, I'm not going to say the word, but I mean, it seems, weird, right?
sure,
But I
sure,
think that we need to kind of uh, get rid of that, because, as men, we should be giving each other compliments. We should be telling each other, hey, man, you look good today, and it doesn't even have to be on any weird stuff. It could just because, we're not, women do give each other compliments all the time, whether
all
they
the
be
time.
true or, women or whatever. Women are competitive with each other and stuff like that, mentally or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just weird, right?
It's a different experience. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so, like,
Yeah,
with men, we tend not to do that a lot often that we should, and so I feel like if we could really start doing that more often, I think it would come off less weird, and especially, like, with women too, like, you ask her, "What do you got on that smells really good?" Maybe maybe some guy said that to her before, and then she talks, and then they keep going like, oh, what's your number, and you look good, or whatever.
yeah.
Maybe because, well, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just be like, hey, like, oh, I want to get that for my girl. Like, what do you got?
Exactly.
That smells good, or my mom would like that fragrance. You know what I mean?
Sure. I
Kind of
usually
stuff it out. You know what I mean?
exactly, like I usually put on a little pretext, right? And so as I told you earlier, I'll usually say, hey, listen, I review fragrances on YouTube, and I was just wondering, blah blah blah, and that seems to kind of put the appropriate distance needed, because I've had nothing. Well, I've had all positive feedback. I've had no neutral, and then I've had just those two awkward exchanges, and that's, come on, right? In the grand scheme of thing, that's nothing. One, and then the one with the woman, like, we were in a bar in her defense, right? But
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked, and yeah, I think she thought I was hitting on her, and I was actually reading a copy of a hockey magazine. So it doesn't get much more exciting than that, actually. So okay, so Bryn says, haha, who knew smelling good can be so damn complicated? Exactly. Because if it's a guy asking a guy, like you said earlier, it's like he might demand it. Like he might want to know exactly what it is so that he can go buy it and get compliments from either whoever he wants. But you get the point. I mean, I was in a bar one time. It was watching some baseball playoffs, and there was a guy walked by, and the woman next to me like ran over and said, like, demanded that he wrote the name, right? And he left, of course, and then the whole time she was talking to her friend, and they were like looking it up on their phone, and she was like, my boyfriend will be wearing this, and stuff. So I was even tempted to ask what it was, but I didn't. So my fear is that it was Sauvage by Dior, and I'm just not a fan. I'm not going to bash it because it's everyone seems to like it, but me,
everyone wears it.
I'm just not. It just doesn't work for me. Yeah, I mean,
that's another thing. I see these videos on out to the club and club scene fragrances, and how, if you want to pick up this girl or something, you got to wear this one, and there's always Sauvage in there. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm pretty sure every woman has smelled Sauvage at least once in their life.
Exactly.
But you want to be a little different.
I mean, well, yeah, but
I mean, you know what I mean? If you're trying to make a good first impression, or it could be something weird,
Here's what I would say. For some guys, though, I think they live in communities where or at least their inner circles, they're probably the only one who wears cologne. That's my best attempt.
Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of guys do wear it, because they're not hanging around with a lot of other frag heads. Because I agree with you. It's like, but then again, you have to understand this is coming from a guy who for many, many years wore Aqua Amara, right? And see, that was the problem, right? People would be like, why do you want to smell like everyone else? And at the time, I was just like, I'm going to wear what I like, So I totally understand like the whole personality thing. And my favorite thread was, and forgive me if I mentioned this last time, but it does make me laugh. It was like that we had it was most complimented fragrance thread, right?
Yeah.
And every guy was saying all this funny stuff like, do wear this and blend it with this, and you got to go out and get Sauvage, whatever. And then one woman chimed in and said something along the lines of like, what I want, the sexiest fragrance in the world is when a guy works on the house all day, comes in, showers, and then wears Irish Spring, and then takes me out that night. So, I mean, everything is relative in the end. You always go with what your personality matches well with your personality, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that is just about it. And I will, what I will do? I will send you later on that the name of that fragrance, because I'm just not going to get it. So
yeah, whenever you can. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to look it up now. That's cheating. I need to. I will bring a stronger game when it comes to that one, and I won't keep us here till midnight. This has been a lot of fun. In fact, now that I think about it, I think our last one was an hour and 42 minutes, and we are at the exact hour and 42 minute mark. So we're going longer than a feature film yet again.
Right.
Yes, this is a blast, and I'm so happy that we got the StreamYard thing taken care of in our first attempt last time. So this time was smooth. We had a lot of people drop by, and I'm very touched by that, actually, because I know on a Sunday afternoon people might have other things going on. And do you have any final things to say?
No, just thank you so much for the opportunity. It was great talking to you, and I'm looking forward to the next time for sure.
Me too. We said we were going to shoot for the second half of July, and we are in the final hours of July, and we got it done. Yeah, no, then we'll in a month or so, whatever you think. You want to do. Yeah, I get for it. I really enjoyed the format. Actually, it's a lot of fun, especially with all the comments coming in. We're going to end with Bren. He says, I do really like the Elixir, probably the nod to the old classic vibe, and heard the Parfum spa version is pretty good. Cheers, boys. Sorry for the late arrival. No problem at all. No problem at all. Just happy that you can pop in at any time. And so that was very, very kind of you to do that, especially on a later night for you on your end. If my math is right, I think it's 10:45 at night his time, I think. Now, is he referring to Paco Rabanne?
I think he's talking about the Sauvage.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was an Elixir. Okay, for the Sauvage. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, because I love the Paco Rabanne 1 million Elixir. Have you smelled that one?
Yeah, that one smells good. It has like a vanilla almond type of thing.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not. Some vanillas I really like, and then some I don't like at all. So he said correct. So there we go. All right. Well, you have a great week. And a great start to your August. And then, you want to shoot again for?
Yeah, next month. Man.
Okay. All right.
We could do like an every month thing.
Okay. All right. Well, I would love that. I'm happy because some of these questions, like I said, they were from December. And so they were a little behind, but I'm happy I did what I said I would do, which was address everybody's question. And if you guys are watching this after the fact, by all means, leave a comment and leave us your questions for the next time, and that'll give us kind of a good back and forth flow. And if you guys have not subscribed to Loc'd Scents, Dr. Goo's YouTube fragrance review channel, you should absolutely do so. Clearly, as you can tell, if you're coming in just the latter end here, he's a great guy, and he's just relatively new. All right, how old is your channel?
Well, I started in January 14th or something like that. So
okay,
over 6 months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So relatively new, but awesome delivery and knowledgeable and really into fragrances and photography, like you said, because you film in 4K.
Oh yeah, man! So, I try to get the best quality I can out of the camera I got. So
that's awesome. Well, you guys take care. So Dr. Goo, stick around in the green room. I'll use my big StreamYard terminology, and we will see you guys later. Like I said, if you watch this later on after the stream, by all means, please let us know. Number one, your scent of the day. That's always been a lot of fun for us. In fact, I'm going to check out. I took a bunch of notes today, and I'll be checking out some new fragrances. And then, of course, leave us a comment or question that you want us to talk about for the next time, which we'll shoot for sometime in August. You guys have a great week. Take care. And always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody.